One guy spends $200 a month on coffee, subscriptions, and random stuff he doesn't even remember buying. Another guy spends the same $200 differently. 10 years later, the first one is still wondering where his money goes every month. The second one, financially free. Not because he earned more, not because he got lucky, but because he built 10 tiny habits that most people overlook completely. The problem? Most people think wealth is about big moves, a big salary, a big investment, a big break. But the truth is brutally simple. The people who actually build wealth don't do anything spectacular. They just do small things, consistently, quietly, every single day. And those small things compound into something most people only dream about. In this video, I'm not going to give you motivation. I'm not going to sell you a course. I'm just going to show you the 10 habits that changed everything for me, one by one, with full transparency. And after that, you'll know exactly where to start. Welcome to the 10 tiny habits that built my wealth. Here's the truth nobody tells you. Becoming rich isn't about making one giant decision. It's about making 10 tiny ones every single day. Most people wake up and consume. They scroll social media, watch videos, buy things they don't need. Meanwhile, their money is leaving their bank account through 1,000 tiny holes. The shift happened for me when I realized something. Consumers drain money. Creators make money. I started spending 15 minutes a day creating content, writing articles, making videos, designing graphics. Nothing fancy at first. But here's what happened. The creator economy was valued at $254 billion in 2025. By 2026, it jumped to $313 billion. And by 2035, experts predict it will hit between $1.35 and $2.08 trillion. Why? Because companies are hungry for creators. In 2026 alone, US brands are spending $43.9 billion paying creators to promote their products. And here's the amazing part. They don't just want mega celebrities anymore. 92% of marketers are actively working with regular creators, people with 5,000 to 500,000 followers. And the craziest part? These habits take almost no time. 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. By the end of this video, you'll have a playbook that costs nothing to start but compounds into life-changing money. This one sounds simple, but it's hard. Every opportunity that comes your way feels exciting. Every invitation feels like you're missing out. But here's the reality. Saying yes to a good opportunity is saying no to a great one. I started applying this to everything. A side project that sounded cool but didn't align with my goals? No. An expensive hobby that I enjoyed but wasn't moving me forward? No. A social event that drained my energy instead of building my network? No. Wealth isn't built by doing many things. It's built by doing a few things really well. The people who build real money are ruthless about their boundaries. They protect their time like it's currency, because it is. So I started 15 minutes a day, and within months, that small time investment became my second income stream. The math is simple. Every minute you create is a minute you're building an asset that works for you while you sleep. People tell me they want to save more money. They want to build wealth. But wanting and doing are different planets. For years, I said I wanted an emergency fund. It stayed a dream. Then I changed one thing. I assigned a number. I sat down and decided $1,200 for an emergency fund by December 31st. That sounds big. But watch what happens when you do the math. $1,200 a year. That's $100 a month. That's $25 a week. That's $3.30 a day. Suddenly, it's not a dream anymore. It's a math problem. And when you can see that your daily coffee is the same cost as your daily wealth goal, the choice becomes obvious. This is called chunking, breaking big, scary goals into small daily actions. It's the difference between I want to be rich and I need to save $3.30 today. One is abstract. The other is real. This habit changed everything for me. Most people wait until the end of the month and save whatever's left. You know what's usually left? Nothing. I know what you're thinking. Tracking expenses sounds boring as hell, but here's the problem. Small expenses feel invisible. Your coffee, your app subscription, your impulse Amazon purchase. None of them feel like much, but add them up and they're the reason you're broke. I started using a simple system. Every month, I spend 20 minutes putting my transactions into 3 buckets. 50% goes to needs: rent, food, insurance, transportation. 30% goes to wants: going out, entertainment, hobbies. 20% goes to future wealth: savings, investments, debt payoff beyond the minimum. This is the 50-30-20 rule. It's not strict, but it gives you a map. And when you track for 20 minutes, you always find something. One forgotten subscription, one recurring charge, one spending category that's way too high. Just by tracking, I found $200 a month I was wasting. $200 a month is $2,400 a year. That's real money. So I did the opposite. I made a deal with my employer to send a portion of my paycheck directly to a savings account before it ever touched my checking account. Out of sight, out of mind. Psychologically, your brain adapts to whatever money you see. If you don't see it, you don't spend it. I started with $50 a week. Small enough that I didn't miss it, but large enough to build the habit. Within 3 months, I had an extra $600. By the end of the year, I'd built an emergency fund without even thinking about it. The beauty here is that this works at any income level. Whether you're starting with $5 a week or $50, you're teaching your future self a lesson. Your money comes first. Everything else is secondary. Here's something most people miss. You become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If your crew is constantly eating out, upgrading their cars, and flexing expensive purchases, you will too. Social pressure is real. Your brain is wired to match the behaviors of those around you. So I made a brutal decision. I started spending less time with people focused on consumption and more time with people building wealth. This doesn't mean cutting people off. It means shifting where you put your energy. I joined online communities of people talking about investing. I followed creators who made financial content. I attended networking events. Within 6 months, my conversations changed. My spending habits changed. My goals changed. Because the people whispering in my ear every day changed. If you're serious about wealth, your circle has to be serious about it too. Here's a sobering stat. The average American answers only 49% of financial knowledge questions correctly. That means most people are flying blind with their money. And it's not getting better. People are making decisions based on what they see on social media instead of what they actually understand. So I committed to 30 minutes a week learning. I read articles. I listened to podcasts. I watched videos from credible sources about investing, compound interest, and building wealth. This habit paid off in ways I didn't expect. I learned that my employer was offering a matching 401k that I was leaving on the table. That one conversation with my company cost me nothing but returned thousands in free money. I learned about ETFs and index funds, which meant I could invest with minimal risk. Knowledge is the edge that separates people who become rich and people who stay broke. This sounds like a self-help cliche, but the research is insane. Grateful people delay gratification better. They spend less impulsively. They're less materialistic. Their brains literally rewire to care less about stuff and more about building something real. I started a simple habit. Every morning, one sentence about something I'm grateful for: my health, a good meal, a skill I've developed, a person in my life. This shifts your baseline thinking from scarcity to abundance. When you're running on scarcity, every dollar feels like a threat. You panic, you spend to feel better, you make bad decisions. When you're running on abundance, you trust the process, you save, you invest, you play the long game. This one tiny habit changed my relationship with money from fear-based to growth-based. Wealth doesn't come from transactions, it comes from relationships. So every month, I pick one person in my network. I ask them a genuine question about their journey, and I share something useful with them. No strings attached. Maybe it's an article they'd find valuable. Maybe it's an introduction to someone they should know. Maybe it's just a thoughtful message telling them, I'm proud of what they're doing. This habit doesn't cost anything, but over time, your network becomes your greatest asset. Your next opportunity, your next client, your next job often comes from someone who knows you genuinely care. Real wealth is built on real relationships, not transactions. Here's the math that breaks people's brains. If you get 1% better every single day, you're almost 38 times better by the end of 1 year. So there you have it, 10 habits that cost almost nothing to start. Stop consuming and start creating. Set a specific number for your goals. Automate your savings, track your spending. Build your network around wealth. Learn about money. Say no to distractions, practice gratitude, build genuine relationships, and commit to 1% better every day. These aren't glamorous. They won't make you rich in a month, but they will make you rich. That's a guarantee. If you found this helpful, drop a like, subscribe for more content breaking down how ordinary people build real wealth. And tell me in the comments, which of these 10 habits are you going to start first? Not 10 times better, not double, 38 times. James Clear wrote about this in Atomic Habits, and he showed real examples. British cycling became the most dominant force in the sport by obsessing over 1% improvements. Better bike seats, better grip on tires, better mattresses, better hand-washing techniques, hundreds of 1% improvements stacked together. I applied this to wealth building. 1% better at saving, 1% better at understanding investments, 1% better at not making impulsive purchases, 1% better at creating content. Within a year, I wasn't recognizable. My income had grown, my savings had doubled, my knowledge had transformed. The magic isn't in giant leaps. It's in refusing to stay the same.